Hello, and welcome to You Write, the podcast where creativity meets community.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Matt.
Each week on You Write, we challenge our listeners to write a story in just 30 minutes using 3 of 5 randomly generated words.
It's a fun and fast-paced exercise to spark your imagination and get those creative juices flowing.
We'll read your submissions, offer feedback, and discuss the unique twists and turns of each story.
So whether you're an aspiring author or just love a good tale, You Write is your place to explore the endless possibilities of storytelling.
So grab you a pine needle and some fresh sap, get comfy, and let's dive into this week's stories.
And remember, the only limit is your imagination and your availability to pine needles. So let's see what you got.
Let's see.
So, Rachel, where are you? What are you doing?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, I'm so glad you asked. I'm currently in Santa Fe.
Woo! Nice.
Yes. Yes. I came here with a friend, and we came here to visit his friend. And they actually work at a summer camp called Glorietta, which is just outside of Santa Fe. And it is epic.
Oh, yeah?
It is amazing. We're actually staying. It's huge. We're staying on the campground. But there's like hotels kind of things on the campground, and that's what we're staying in.
Oh, nice.
But yesterday we went and ate at this amazing place called somebody's Roadhouse. And
Texas's Roadhouse?
Some name Roadhouse. No. I was like, is it like Texas Roadhouse? Because if so, I don't want to go. But
yeah.
It was delicious. OMG. And they had delicious New Mexican food and delicious pie as well. They're pie people. Anyway, and so that was amazing. And then today we're going to go on a bike ride down. There's like tons of trails on this campsite. So we're going to go biking, and then also we're going to go to a tree house, which apparently exists, and I'm so excited about. And we're going to hopefully go ziplining in the morning as well.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Oh, yeah. Wow. It's awesome. So, loving it.
Well, rad. That sounds like a good time. I don't know why I thought you were going out there for Derby for whatever reason.
Well, I was in Albuquerque for Derby a few weeks ago.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Well,
yeah. Santa Fe is awesome. We went, what was it, like a year and a half ago or something like that? Yeah, it's a great place. Never really spent any time until then. So, yeah, I really like Santa Fe.
Yeah, it's great. Isn't that where we went?
Yeah.
Wasn't I with you?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I think, right? We went skiing?
Yeah,
we did that. We did that thing.
Yeah, that happened. And so it's awesome. And right now, this weekend, there's like a classic car show going on in the town square. So that's pretty fun. There's like a ton of people out there. And there's a Juneteenth celebration apparently today in the town square. So hopefully going to hit that up.
Yeah. Yeah. The square is where it's happening. It was busy when we were
exactly.
out there. Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, cool.
Yep. Okay. So what about you?
Oh, I am good. I will be out of town all next week. I will be in Pennsylvania for a work thing, a training event. So no fun for me. But hey, so I've never heard of. Have you ever heard of? So we're flying. We have 2 connecting flights to get to this airport. It's in Allentown, Pennsylvania. The airport is, but so we fly from Dallas to Philadelphia, and then from Philadelphia we get on a bus at a gate for an airplane. And they drive us to the Allentown airport. Oh yeah, that's weird, right? Like,
yeah, but I've experienced that before.
I've never. Like, it's weird, part of the your plane ticket. Like, you book it like you would a plane.
Yeah. I believe that whenever I experienced that, it was somewhere in the Middle East. Or I also want to say that I might have experienced that somewhere in the Northeast as well. But I do remember that as being part of the plane ticket. There was a bus ride.
Yeah. It's an American Airlines branded bus. It's really bizarre.
Yeah.
I never heard of that.
That's exciting.
Yeah, so we're doing that. So
Cool. Like Tim is going to?
No, it's me and a colleague.
Okay. To Allentown, Pennsylvania, you say?
Yeah. So the airport is in Allentown, the hotel is in Bethlehem, and the training is in Coopersburg. So, yeah.
Oh, okay. Never heard of Coopersburg.
Yeah, that's where we're going. So
cool. Sounds like fun.
We'll see. We'll see.
It could be an adventure regardless.
It could be, yeah. And we have to be at the airport at 5 in the morning, the ungodly hour of 5 in the morning. Our plane takes off. So, ugh.
Wait. The plane takes off at 5?
Yes.
So you have to be there at like 3:30.
Like 2 in the morning. Yeah, like 1 probably.
So just go ahead and spend the night in the airport.
Yeah, I'm just going to go. We're going to hang up here. I'm just going to go ahead and head over there. So.
Okay, see ya.
Did you see all our stories?
I did.
Yeah, and who did we decide to read this week?
I believe that this week we decided to read RichiePozier. Welcome back, Richie.
Hey, Richie. So yeah,
we have missed you.
We have missed the Richie. Yes, welcome back.
We
buddy.
have.
So, to welcome you back, we are reading Meat. Mm-hmm. Which, funny enough, there was Prismatic submitted a story titled Meat back on episode 25. Oh, yeah. So yeah, that was a thing.
That sounds very familiar.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So this is Meat by RichiePozier. Claire looked across the bridge at the radio that shouldn't be working. So again, is anyone out there? The voice cut through the dim and startled Claire just as much as the first time. She thumbed her walkie with her trembling hand. Hey guys, how long has the ship been drifting for? It was reported missing in July, Captain Luthuli said. About 3 months. Why? Because someone's here, Cap. That's not possible. This ship hasn't refueled or resupplied the whole time. Even if it didn't rot, there's no way to stretch 14 days of food that far, Luthuli said. Bobby's voice broke the radio silence from somewhere in the crew's quarters. Then where is everyone, Captain? There's no trace that anyone was ever on this ship. The radio flickered again, and the unknown voice returned. Is anyone out there? I thought I heard something. I'm so hungry. The voice sounded cheerful, but not quite real, almost like someone reading from a script. Claire felt her throat swell shut. Get to the bridge, sir, now. 11 hours later. Claire stared. She had been desensitized to bloodshed, especially of this magnitude. Where some might see a boy hopelessly ruined and beyond care, she saw only flesh, completely absent the person who had once inhabited the vessel splayed out before her. Meat. That's all the boy was. Meat. Rot. Ashes to ashes, earth to earth, and dust to dust. The boy's remaining eye stared back at her from across the desk of the derelict cruise ship. Carrion feeders lilted overhead, waiting to continue their feast as soon as the interloper retreated. Captain, do you think this will work? She said into the radio, resigned to her fate. You have as good a guess as I do. Let's do it. For Bobby, Luthuli answered. For Bobby.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, so what do you think is going on here?
So it gives me like a ghost ship vibe of some kind. Like there's something on this ship, because Bobby's the one that's on the ship in the crew's quarters. And so by the end of it, Bobby's gone. So
wait, I don't I guess I got lost there. So
yeah, the first time
Bobby,
I read it, whenever I read it this time, I caught on. It's like, oh, okay, so yeah, Bobby is the one in the crew quarters. And something happened, and they hear this voice come through, and I guess Bobby is the boy in this case that is ruined here.
Okay. I guess that thought kind of crossed my mind, but then I kind of stuck to that idea because it was like what Bobby said was, then where is everyone, Captain? There's no trace that anyone was ever on the ship. So it didn't make sense to me that the zombie boy would be saying that.
Well, I think because we have 11 hours pass, and then there's this ruined person. I'm gonna chalk that up to the boy is Bobby. 11 hours later, and just in that time, something horrific happened to Bobby, and she's looking at it now.
So, what was Bobby doing before that? Because
he was on this ship that was like abandoned, or it seems like he's on an abandoned ship, and so something supernatural on this ship. I'm gonna say, like it seems like there's nobody there, but then by the end of it, Bobby was the only one that was on the ship. So by the end of the story, it sounds like Bobby's dead. So
is Claire the only other person here, or Luthuli?
Yeah,
okay.
Claire and Captain Luthuli. Yeah.
So Claire and Captain Luthuli are on a ship, and they are coming up upon this ship, like wreckage, this old ship or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then Claire gets on the intercom and is like, "Hey, is anybody out there?" And then somebody says, "How long has the ship been drifting for?" And then Captain Luthuli says, "About 3 months." And then someone says, "There's somebody there." And then Luthuli says,
yeah, if you follow it, Claire asks, "How long has the ship been drifting?" And Luthuli responds, "About 3 months." Because someone's here, Cap. That's not possible. The ship hasn't refueled. Yeah, that one's interesting. Why would she think that someone is here despite everything? And then this is where we learn that's not possible. The ship hasn't refueled. Bobby's voice broke the radio silence from somewhere in the crew's quarters. Then where is everyone? There's no trace that anyone was ever on this ship. Because that makes it sound like Bobby is on the other ship already. Like they sent him over to scout it out.
Okay. So he's part of their crew.
Yeah.
Bobby's part of their crew.
Yeah, because
he's not originally part of the ghost ship.
No, because he refers to Captain. He's like, then where is everyone, Captain? So he's talking to Luthuli as well. So, yeah, part of the crew.
Okay. So he's part of the crew, and they went ahead and sent Bobby over to investigate.
Yeah, I think we're kind of catching it in the middle because Bobby's already over there, and they're asking these questions.
Okay. And then there's an unknown voice.
Yeah.
That's like, is anyone out there? And that's not Bobby.
Right. Yeah, it's an unknown voice. Is anyone out there? I thought I heard something. I'm so hungry. The voice sounded cheerful, but not quite real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So that feels like looking at it now, that seems like kind of a trap, like a lure, maybe. Like this radio call is meant to draw people in. And that's when Bobby got get. And that's probably why she says, because someone's here, Cap. Because this call is coming through. So this probably isn't the first time. And at this point, that's whenever Claire... Claire starts to get an uneasy feeling and says, we get to the bridge now. So...
Yeah. Okay. Here's what we don't know, though. We don't know if the boy with the eye missing at the end, is that Bobby, or is that the original voice that was like, I'm hungry?
Yeah, we're not sure. We're not sure who the body is, but because of the way that Claire says she's just desensitized to it, she won't put a name to it. That's why we don't ever get a name for this corpse. It might be Bobby. It might not either. So, yeah, that is that's unclear. Yeah,
okay. Because I originally just thought that one-eyed boy was the one who was like, I'm hungry or something, you know? But I did also think that was Bobby. I thought that was all the same person. But now that you've explained it, I think that, I don't know, I'm reading it like that one-eyed boy is the voice that was luring them on.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Yeah, it could be. Or the voice is all that remains of whoever this was. Or I don't know. Just the way that we get the... I'm so hungry makes it sound like there's something that feeds on people, and it's just using this call to lure people to this ship, which is really creepy. But yeah. And the way Claire describes the boy, the carcass that she comes across is that's bad. That's bad. Yeah, that's gross. But that's gross. That is an upsetting image. For sure. Yeah. Man, what a way to come back, Richie.
Yeah. So what do you think they're gonna do when she's like, Captain, do you think this will work?
I'm going to assume they're going to burn the ship, like just set fire to the ship,
Hmm.
because it feels like some kind of trap.
Okay. I get the feeling that they're gonna do something, try to do something magical of some kind. Because like, do you think this will work? Okay, but would they, if that boy with the missing eye is Bobby, would they burn him down for him? I don't
Maybe,
know.
maybe because yeah, clearly something supernatural is happening here, and
Yeah.
it seems I don't have anything really to back this up other than just her
Uh-huh.
being desensitized to all of this bloodshed. Makes it seem
Uh-huh.
like she was somewhat prepared for this outcome, especially
Hmm.
because she kind of saw something coming whenever she said get to the bridge. So seems like she may
Yeah.
have some understanding of what is going on that we're just not privy to yet.
Right. And well, I wonder, like, are there other victims? Because if it's like a huge level, a huge magnitude of bloodshed, that makes me think that there's more than just the one kid,
Hmm.
you know? Um, I wonder what happens during those 11 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. 11 hours is a
Hmm.
lot of time, especially considering how things
Hmm.
were playing out so quickly in the start. So, yeah,
Yeah.
something
So if
dramatic
you had to
happened.
take a wild guess, if we could just throw out some guesses, what could we say might have happened during
I
these 11 hours?
I would say it's because it seems they're on this ship now. So they got the body back onto their ship. Hmm. I would say that they went over to the ship and confronted whatever it was, but by the time they got there, Bobby was toast. And they found
Hmm.
this body, be it Bobby or whatever, and they brought it back, and this is them dealing with. That's about what I got. Why that would take 11 hours, I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm. Sounds to me like there was some type of like a battle. I'm imagining like a ghost ship battle or something like that, but
Yeah.
one where there's also flesh that can shed blood.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, who knows, really?
Yeah. Yeah. It's an excellent hook though. Man, it leaves you asking a lot of
Yeah,
questions and it's
it
super
does.
unsettling.
It is. It makes me want to know more details. Like, I really want to get the story fleshed out a bit here.
I
See
see
what I
what you
did
did
there?
there. That's yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, thanks, Richie.
Okay. Thanks, Richie. Give
Thank,
us some. Tell us what's going on here.
yeah. Yeah, we need the deets, dude.
Yes.
All right. And up next we have Mask Milita by Nick to You.
Yes, we do. Hey, Nick.
Hey, Nick. All right.
What's
So
up?
this is actually a name that we've had before, the Mask Milita. This is the vigilante stories that we've gotten every so often from Nick to You, and um, so yeah, this is a group of people where
Mhm.
it seems most of these like vigilantes are just like individuals. Like here we get Secretary and Mr. Fahrenheit, which, as per usual, excellent names. And
Mhm.
Mask Milita is this group, and we learn just a little bit about their MO here right at the start. Um,
But I have a question. Is it Mask Militia or Mask Militia? Because throughout the story it's spelled as militia, but in the title it's Milita.
that's a good question. If it was meant to be Milita, I could see where militia was autocorrected. That's a good question. I don't know.
Mm.
Yeah, so Mask
Okay.
Milita or Militia, one of the two.
Yeah.
Either what we get their kind of their standard operating procedure here is. Well, let's read the first paragraph. The incumbent mayor's
Yeah.
popularity had already been on decline, but he had been slow to denounce the mask militia after they had started attacking churches, instead of keeping to their usual harassing of religious minorities and the homeless. So that tells you that something has changed, and also kind of we know how they usually operate. So I thought that was really good at just
Hmm.
getting the pace moving here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so we have this mayor who his entire platform was to curb the violence of vigilantes and militias. And the masked militia was both. So okay, so people are kind of against the masked militia, it sounds like. They're trying to like take them down.
Yeah. at least by the perspective that we're in here, which is secretaries, they do appear to be a more villainous group. But considering the number of people in masked militia, I imagine if you change perspective, you probably would get, a counter argument for why they might be the good guys. So it does seem complicated. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. Not black and white.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. I really, really like the descriptions of what the people are wearing and the look like things. Like Fahrenheit was a lot more flashy with a bright blue and red suit and a mask that looked fiery and had a big performative personality. Even if he remained professional and his suit looked more like a business suit instead of a costume.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you have the description of secretary. I really, really like those descriptions. It really paints a picture, and it's just fun.
Yeah, and I also really liked the part where she said the rest of her outfit still resembled a secretary, but after a bullet grazed her leg, she had given up on showing skin and made sure the whole thing could take a hit. So showing that she's kind of seasoned at this as well, just through her description that way. Yeah, I thought that was excellent. Yeah. And I really like that you drop just enough clues that secretary is meant to point towards the secretary bird through the mask only, but you don't just come outright and say that she looks like a secretary bird, which kicks its enemy or kicks its prey to death. You give us just enough clues here and there to let us make that connection ourselves, which if you do make that connection as a reader, it's very satisfying. So well done there. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't exactly, kind of, but not exactly, but I did see the note and looked up the secretary bird and I was like, oh yeah.
Isn't that rad? Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's rad. That was fair.
And I'm pretty sure that the only reason I knew about the secretary bird was from, I want to say it was Nick Hughes' story, or it might even be, I think it might have been Ace of Swords. I don't remember, but somebody submitted a story that included a secretary bird. And that was the only reason I knew anything about it in the first place. So, so it makes me think this might be a recurring character that we've seen before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of got that feeling too, actually. But yeah.
But yeah, okay, so something interesting is the mayor that they're hired to protect here, his whole campaign is curbing the violence of vigilantes and militias. And so, but he's hired vigilantes to protect him, like as bodyguards, essentially. And so it feels like it's sending mixed messages here. Yeah. And again, the complicated part of this comes in whenever the mask militia is this group that seems to be primarily made up of non-vigilantes, with save for one, it seems like. And that is Staples, is the guy that shows up later. And they basically decide that Fahrenheit can't deal with Staples because it sounds like he's in like a full ferrous metal bodysuit, because he's basically like Magneto. He can move ferrous metal around. And so if Fahrenheit were to do anything, he would just like cook him alive. And that's not that's a bad image. They can't do that. So it's up to Secretary, who is not as capable of dealing with someone like Staples, but because of Fahrenheit, she's the only one left to do that. So
that has a chance.
Yeah. So that just really does complicate the whole scene, that they have to be as non-violent as possible while people are being clearly violent against them. So
I love the names. I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah. Like, Staples.
Nick always has such good names.
Yeah, always delivers. Yeah.
Love. Yes. Okay, so all right, so they have this conundrum here. And so they agree that Secretary would have to be the one to take care of Staples. And the name Staples is just so good.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah,
it just makes you think like why he's named Staples. It's probably because he just like projects staples because he can control metal. He just like launches staples through the air, which is fascinating. Which I guess you could also, if depending on how accurate he is, that could also be a very non-violent way of like dealing with people. Like you could just pin them with staples rather than like hurting them with staples. So
if it's a really big staple.
Yeah. But then we get lines like this from a man a man from the mask militia says religion is the tool of the people in power who want to take away the people's means of identifying their abuses. Richard Connor has been backed by several corporations, and then he gets cut off. And so we're getting these little bits about the masked militia here from just like little things like this that are getting thrown out, but they do still feel a little terroristic, I guess. Yeah, but I'd just be curious to know what their real shtick is.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like a gray area. It's like, are these good guys or bad guys, or a little bit of both, or neither?
Yeah, it seems complicated. And then we also get this from Staples. I'm sorry, but you can't be defending this man, Staples said, running to meet her own charge. So Staples, being a vigilante here, is just like something is off here. Like, why would these people be so bent out of shape about this man to the point that they would go to these lengths to like make sure that their opinion is heard, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. Also, I did get a bit confused about whether Staples was male or female, because of that line that you just read. It almost sounded like it was saying that Staples was female, because it said running to meet her own charge.
I think running to meet secretary's charge, because she started to charge in and Staples ran to meet her.
Okay. Well, anyway, that part confused me, but then I saw later that Staples was referred to as him.
Yeah.
And he. So I was like, okay. Yeah. All right. That just helps to just get a picture in my mind, of what this is looking like.
Yeah, they have their scuffle here, Secretary and Staples, and she basically just like launches him in the air with some sort of like gravity power, reverses the gravity for a moment, and he just goes flying up, which is fascinating. But then the police show up. Police, hands in the air, a cop said, finally emerging, gun drawn. Secretary didn't even have time to put her hands up before he took a shot directly at her. His aim was terrible, which was probably bad for whoever was behind her, which I think that's a great line. But then she's just like, my arms are up, she said, raising her arms. Hands in the air, the cop insisted, wild-eyed. So clearly this guy is terrified. And despite her just complying to everything, he's still just freaking out. And made that much worse whenever Staples lands and he panic shoots again. And that's whenever Secretary tackles the cop and disarms him before he could hurt anyone else, at least. She suspected this would be bad for her image. And that's where we leave off for this entry. And again, just kind of leaves us with this complicated feeling, like this situation is very it's not very black and white. It just seems really gray. Like we're not sure how to feel about each of these groups, this mayor, the cops, like whenever you have people with this much power, it's complicated. It's really complicated.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
Complicated and a fun, wild ride.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, and again, I really like these vigilantes, and especially when paired with this militia group, this masked militia. This is a very compelling read. I feel like it's got a lot to say.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Nick. To you.
Thank you, Nick.
And up next is What's the Point by Steve.
Yeah. Hey, Steve.
Hey, Steve.
I'd like to start out by saying that you really nailed the nihilism prompt. So I applaud you for that.
Yeah. Yeah. This felt very, very nihilistic. Yeah. Just the kind of,
it did. It really did.
The hopeless, pointless kind of sensation. Yeah. Felt very, very Nietzsche.
Yeah, it was great. And just the way that you're describing doing your best, giving everything, and still being like, is it enough? Like, what's even the point of this? Like, maybe, and like losing jobs where you're giving your all and being like, what's the point of even trying? I like the honesty. And I also like the note that you made there at the end about like, hey guys, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for adding that, because I was like, do we need to send a welfare check to Steve?
Yeah.
But yeah, I like your openness and honesty, because people have these feelings and thoughts, and they're just usually hesitant to put them on paper. So I would really like that you did that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And just being able to express these things openly and honestly, like Rachel said, I think
Mm-hmm.
speaks to your capability as a writer. Like you don't shy away from those types of things, as even when they pertain directly to you and your story. Because it's one thing to write about these things from a fictional standpoint. It's something else entirely to do it in
Mm-hmm.
a nonfiction standpoint. Just that
Yeah, totally.
openness, that transparency to let people just see you like this. So yeah, I agree that
Right.
that's commendable for sure.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Okay, so sometimes I just get down on life. I've never been suicidal or severely depressed. Okay, so that's a good thing to note there.
Yeah.
Um, I don't, I want to go back and everything, but I just want to mention one thing just because it's like, I want to mention it before I forget it. In the last paragraph, I used to be so full of life and a shining beacon for others. Now I'm just angry too often. That really made me think because I've been thinking lately about how easy it is to like gradually, slowly slip into this nihilism
Hmm.
and this just bitterness, at life and at the world. And you don't even realize you're doing it. And then, years on or whatever, you're like, oh man, I've become like hardened. I've become jaded, you know?
Yeah.
And I was just asking myself, like, how do you avoid from that happening? And I think it's a lot of things and it's not a simple answer, but I think a lot of it has to do with what you're meditating on in your mind. Like, are you allowing your mind to brood on these injustices? You know, I think really the things that we allow our minds to brood on are the things that kind of are very formative to our outlook on the world. That's what I believe.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think
Mm-hmm.
that's exactly right. And I think that's also why it's easy to let this nihilism take over, because in some case, like
Hmm.
you're really passionate about a lot of these things, and sometimes these
Hmm.
things that you're passionate about are completely out of your control. And so to just let that nothingness, that hopelessness, that what's the word, like the impotence that we can feel as people to be able to affect any actual change, like that's when nihilism really
Yeah.
wants to take over. But I think just
Hmm.
being able to see what we can and cannot change, I think that's a big part of nihilism, is just this helplessness
Hmm.
to make any sort of difference, but also not
Yeah.
not letting that get the better of you at the same time, which I think is exactly the crux
Hmm.
of what you were saying and what Steve is saying here as well, is to just like
Hmm.
to just focus on the things in your life, like looking forward to this annual Michigan trip here at the end, and the hope
Hmm.
of working on the book and enjoying the simple things in life, an amazing sunrise, a peaceful
Yeah.
river, just those types of things. Those are things that you can genuinely look forward to and are well within your control. Yeah.
Right. And also, just kind of um, expounding upon that idea, the it feels good. Like if somebody wrongs you, for example, it actually feels good to brood on it and to think about like, fuck that. Like, can you believe what this person? It somehow feeds some desire,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Um, but actually, it ends up destroying you. And so, at first, it feels good to think about that and to think about, like, fuck those, like, whoever that did this and that to me. And you're right, you're not wrong. But
Hmm.
still, expending your energy and spending your time just like thinking about that is really actually changing you for the worse. That's what I've like found over the years, and I try to remind myself when I do fall into that, like, this person wronged me and sucks, and I want to think about it.
Yeah,
It's
that
like, no, no, no.
obsessive, broody quality that comes
Yeah,
with that happening. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like you got to let that go for your own good, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, not for them, it's for you. Like,
No, yeah,
and
exactly. 100%.
I think that is a form of like forgiveness, and it's forgiveness not for them but for yourself.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so this line here, I got to thinking, like, right at the start, I was like, wow, this is really dealing very clearly with the nihilism just by the reactions that I'm having as a reader to this. It's like, have I done enough for my children, for my wife, my students, my community, the world? Like, in my head, I was like, there's nothing you can do. Like, I was reading that, I was like, that's like, and then I realized as I was thinking that, I was like, wow, I am clearly falling into the nihilism. And so I think that's really a testament to how effective you are at just getting us into that mindset right out of the gate. So yeah,
totally.
Yeah. This is definitely just steeped very heavily in nihilism here. The political scene of the last 10 years. That's enough to make anybody feel nihilistic. And then what the fuck is the point? Is anything sacred anymore? I try to focus on the good, simple things in life. Like, and that feels like a pattern. Like, it's this, like, what the fuck is the point? And then, like, immediately turns to, like, I'm focusing on these things, but I keep coming back to this hopelessness despite, like, and so it feels like this sort of pendulous feeling. Like, it swings between this, like, trying to feel hopeful and then swinging back to this nihilism, hopefulness and nihilism. Yeah. Very realistic in that way.
It is. It really is.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Steve. This very much met the prompt. So very well done.
Oh yeah. Yes. Thank you, Steve. Thank you for also getting real with us and showing vulnerability. I love that. And my closing remark would be just, like I said, what I've realized that I need to do more of, which is just in my mind to really, really dwell on the positive.
Yeah. And also in the immortal words of Elsa, let it go. Let it go.
Let it go. Exactly. She was so wise.
So wise.
Elsa.
Yeah. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you, Steve.
And our final story for this week is none other than Walker by Faith's Sun's Out from the I Swear to God series.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, Walker.
And wow. I'm scrolling through. Wow. Yeah. You're getting quite serious about this one, I feel like. So this is nice to see. I like seeing all of this effort here.
Me too. Before we dive in, I just want to say thank you for hearing our ideas about the less racial of Maya's guide being less of a racial caricature, and for implementing that.
I thought this is so effective the way this is written. And also, I guess part of this is because you're putting it in a Google Doc, and so we're getting all of the formatting that comes along with how you can do that in the Google Doc. But that is very effectively done. So just to parrot what Rachel is saying, I appreciate you taking that note and how you took that. This feels more magical than what it was before. So I just want you to know that I think this is very effective.
Yes.
So
I concur.
Yeah, I'm glad that we could have that kind of effect here. I think this is very, very well done.
Yeah. Okay, so in this installment, we have found that seems that he did go all in on the thing that was in Maya's guide, summoning Ra and giving up 10 years of his own life.
Yeah, Ra and Sekhmet as well. And so he's, despite it sounds like despite all of these warnings from Thoth, where was that? Oh yeah, Thoth sucked at guiding me on when to summon Ra. He only kept telling me not to do it. And so he's just going against all advice from the God of knowledge. And is it God of knowledge and wisdom, or is it just knowledge? I can't remember. But either way, Thoth is like, don't do it. And he's like, well, of course I'm going to do it. Like, there's no question. This is going to happen.
All that, but then there towards the end, you get the idea that Thoth was just doing it because he was annoyed by the paperwork.
Yeah.
Or he was just saying no because he was just saying don't do it because he was annoyed by the paperwork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, we're like, okay, so he really does he's on to something here. Adam is on to something. Because the way that, not to just jump over basically the entire story, the way we end up is he's cured, what was it, ovarian and... Was
pancreatic.
Pancreatic cancer. Yeah. So like, holy shit. Like
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he wasn't trying to do that. He was just trying to save his friend. He's just trying to save
right.
Sharon here, but no, it's more than that. He's done more
Yeah,
than that.
totally. Quite a bit more than that. And I also was wondering throughout it, like, okay, really out of all of the years since cancer has existed, nobody else has been willing to give up 10 years of their life to save a loved one or something.
It,
That was
yeah.
that was weird.
Yeah. The best thing, because I had the same thought, and I was like, well, surely this has come up before, but it
Oh
almost seemed
yeah.
to me like it was basically the minutia was never quite met. Like the details weren't ever quite right. And so
Mhm.
the best thing that I could come up with is like, this is the first time somebody has gotten Maya's guide and has in
Mhm.
explicit instructions that they can understand because he can magically
Yeah.
understand this guide exactly what needs to happen and who needs to be present for this to work. And so it just seems like
Yeah.
maybe the wrong gods were involved at any one point. And so now, like,
Mhm.
the ritual has been made, the offering has been met, and so now this has
Yeah.
actually happened. And but it's gone beyond even what Maya's guide expressly detailed, and so now it's the whole
Mhm.
world, not just Sharon, which is fascinating.
Right. Yeah, very fascinating. So going back up, it seems that Sharon is having a very, very hard time accepting her new reality. Her new reality, presumably being that she's now cancer free.
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
And she just seems kind of in shock. And there's just little hints throughout that are just like it could just be shock, but it seems she's not super duper genuinely happy.
Yeah.
Like she smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes.
Yeah.
So that kind of, to me, I wonder if that's foreshadowing that having done this while it seems like the perfect fix could have actually not been the perfect fix. I don't know.
Yeah. And this goes to a oh, this was off of what was it was Midnight Club was a show that we were watching for Flanagan's Way. Kim and I were watching it, and
Hmm.
like it's based off of a book, Midnight Club, by Christopher Pike, and it's like a YA book, but it deals with kids in hospice dying of cancer, and so it's
Oh
really
yeah,
really dark. But
yeah,
it comes down to this idea at one point where somebody is not going to die, but they're just like they've for so long lived, or I say for so long, like they have come to terms with the idea that they were going to die, but then suddenly they're not. And so
yeah,
it's this change, like they had to change to accept that they were going to die, but now they also simultaneously have to change to accept that they're not going to die. Like it's not just a
yeah.
switch that flips and it's like, oh, thank God I'm going to live. It's like,
Right.
no, you
Hmm.
had come to this very complicated and very emotional acceptance of
Yeah.
your situation, and suddenly that's not the case anymore. And so I
Right.
imagine if nothing else, it just takes time, which is in and of itself something
Totally.
that you had to come to terms with that you didn't have much of to begin with. So like
Right.
it's
No,
very
because
complicated.
it's like getting institutionalized. It's like Shawshank Redemption. Like when you finally get out, like if you got like let out immediately after getting imprisoned, then yeah, you'd be like, hallelujah, woo. But if you'd spent all these years like fighting, fighting, fighting to accept your circumstances, and then you're suddenly let out, it's like, wait a second, who am I now?
Yeah.
What do I do?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So
Yeah.
that's the emotions that I'm reading off of Sharon in this moment
Yeah,
is that
that's a good point.
yeah. And you don't just
Good
outright
point.
spell it that way though. So um
Hmm.
and I'm sure it's also more complicated than even that. It could be
Hmm.
also that she may is having this kind of existential crisis on top of this because of Adam's explanation and the fact that it did work. Like
Hmm.
this was effective, and so now on top of her being cured and all the emotions that come with that, like we discussed, she also has to contend with the fact that's like if he's telling the truth, that means that there are all of these gods, and that may just run completely counter to who she is. And what she's always believed. And so to try and accept that on top of her situation, yeah, I can understand why she would be behaving this way and not just super duper over the moon about her situation, which I think is very aware. Like that's a great awareness, Walker. Yeah.
Yeah. But I do kind of wonder what the timeline is like here. Like, how long had it been since she had been diagnosed suddenly with cancer? And between that time and the time that, it was cured. I want to know that.
Yeah, I do too. And I believe Walker had mentioned in a comment that Sharon needs more. Otherwise, she is just an object for the story to work, like a plot point, essentially. And I agree with that entirely. Because of and if for no other reason, just even the plot, I won't say necessarily suffers, but it's thin in places. So even if she was just meant to be a plot point, it feels a little thin in places. But I think she needs to be much more than just that. She's pivotal. She's basic. She feels like part of the inciting incident here because she's one of the first characters that Adam meets. And so I think she's very important and pivotal to the story. So giving her a little bit more space at the front would really help. Yeah.
I agree with that as well. Yeah. Her character could use a bit more depth.
Yeah. I really like the way that you work in this portion of Maya's guide that we've been kind of looking toward, that we've been trying to, as the reader, see for ourselves. And the way you interrupt it with, "Did you bring ketchup?" Sharon interrupted my reflection. So that's just him reminiscing on the guide itself. And so I think that's well handled. And I think to go back to what we had mentioned about withholding information from the reader that your point of view character is clearly looking at, I think that's acceptable. I think the way you handle that there is perfectly fine. It will kind of also depend on how much time is ultimately between him getting the guide and reading it and whenever we as the reader get this information. But I think that works just fine. Very
true. I mean, I agree. I also like the funny bits throughout here, like but nothing a few Xanax can't handle. Am I right? Prescribed, of course. To someone, anyway.
To someone, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It was prescribed, okay? Not to me, but...
It was prescribed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that made me laugh because I've done that so many times.
Yeah.
Taking somebody else's and just being like, these are from a doctor. Like, this is okay.
This is a pharmacy handed these out for a prescription written by a doctor. Damn it.
Right. For a condition. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And so we move into this interaction between Adam and Ra and Sekhmet. So Ra's a lot. And basically, I think Adam says, "Oh yeah, right here. Ra was a dick." Was ultimately kind of the impression that is left on Adam here, which, considering we're in his perspective, as a reader, we're left with that same sensation as well. And he just seems so high and mighty and holy, like this kind of holier than thou, and also a little petulant as well.
Yeah, no, he is in a funny way. He's comically petulant.
Yeah, so this whole interaction is just, I think this is really well done, and Ra is really well characterized. He feels very villainous. Like he's the bad guy.
He does. It's funny because I just realized that the picture that's coming into my head whenever I read the lines from Ra here is Hades on Hercules, the cartoon.
Yeah. I get that
see
entirely.
What I mean? You see what I mean, you moron. I'm just seeing that guy.
Yeah. Just, you hear it in James Woods' voice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who else do you think created it? As a technicality, I created it. She simply distributed it. It was a mercy after all. And so just the idea that cancer is a mercy. And ultimately we learned that the mercy that he's describing, it wasn't a mercy for people or for humankind. It was a mercy to themselves so that they could have more people worshiping them and praising them because they're all dying. Yeah. Which is just, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
And then
it tracks.
Now, just look at the results. We're nothing more than footnotes in books written and consumed by, what's that word again? Nerds. Sekhmet provided. Yes, nerds. So yeah, it
Rob
keeps this.
clapped in delight.
Yeah, and
That's
the
good.
apartment, the power in the apartment went out. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's. I really liked those little beats of comedy that you keep
Oh
in there.
yeah, that was great. That was great.
Yeah, because I mean, dealing with the topic of cancer and its origins and all of this, like, it could get. It's pretty heavy in and of its own light, but you managed to keep it pretty light here, which I really appreciate.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
that's very well written. Like the comic pieces are very well written.
Yeah, I agree. I very much agree. Because this could just get so heavy and so bogged down in the emotions of it all. So I like that we can keep some levity about the whole topic. It really keeps it moving in a very satisfying way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, so we move back out of this. He makes the offering, and so the incantation basically that he says is, I also think, very well written. Just makes me think, lovely titles for all of these both of these gods and everything. So it feels very formal, and like he read this very specifically from Maya's guide, like to address them by all of these titles and offer this specific exchange for the punishment laid upon Sharon. I know the costs, take the years, count them true. I will not ask them back. And again, Sharon stood up, interrupting the memory, and she sees like something was wrong. Is like, are you okay? He asked her. It's just a lot, So I like that we're getting kind of her reactions alongside his memory of how he paid for this. So I think that's really well done.
Yeah, that is. That's very well done. I love that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it seems that at the end, he cured all ovarian and pancreatic cancer.
Yeah,
that's exciting.
Yeah, it makes me think, like, do you think that's what? So Sharon had ovarian and pancreatic cancer, and so whenever he cured hers, it just like, okay, so all of it's gone now. So
yeah.
That we get the complicated tag ending here. He's interacting with Thoth. Yeah.
So then whenever I saw that ending, I was like, Sharon, I didn't realize that you were a bitch.
What?
I feel like that's a really sleazy move there at the end. Like, damn, this guy just now cured your cancer and you're gonna secretly live stream his personal life? Like, what the hell?
To be devil's advocate here, I would say that's not, I wouldn't necessarily call that sleazy. I would say that for someone, let's say she's having trouble coming to terms with this, but that this is reality, and she's facing the reality of it here. She, in her mind, thinks like everybody needs to know the reality of this situation, and so she's going to add empirical evidence to the world of the reality of this situation, which I think is delightfully complicated. Because it does feel kind of low, but
it feels very sleazy, because I'm like, if you wanted to do that, record a video and then talk it over with Adam and be like, hey, this is what, because this is Adam's interaction that he's having. That just totally like changed my entire perspective of Sharon. I'm just like, wow, Sharon's actually a dumbass. But yeah, that's how, I don't know, low life. Like, that's just a type of thing to do. Yeah, it just reminds me of somebody like some basic teenager who's just doing dumb shit and doesn't have like the brain cells to realize that it's like not cool what they're doing. I don't know.
Yeah, well, yeah, because there's better ways to handle it for sure. I just think like from a storytelling perspective, this is perfect. Like this feels like exactly what needs to happen, like to complicate this story further, because it's going so well, for Thoth, not necessarily. He's annoyed, but this is a great way to complicate their relationship, the plot, everything. Like, I think this feels exactly what this story needs. Is this? I feel like a great way to complicate it would be to have somebody else live streaming. Like the fact that it's Sharon. If there was that, like,
the neighbor had come in and we didn't even realize it and was live streaming with a gaping look on his face or something.
Yeah.
Like something like that would have definitely complicated it without compromising my entire opinion of Sharon. So that's just another food for thought in there.
I don't know. I think I agree with the choice to use Sharon here, because I do think that, because like you said, this complicates your feelings about Sharon, and I think that's important. I think it's important that we complicate this, but like our feelings towards Sharon and Adam at this point, because how Adam reacts to this will complicate our feelings towards him as well. And so I think this is important. I think this is a very good way to force some character building here. Otherwise, they could start to feel a little flat. So I like this. This is adding some topographical features to our characters, and I really appreciate it.
I don't dislike it. I find it very interesting.
Yeah.
I just have lost every ounce of respect for Sharon, and that's not a bad thing. That's that's part of the story.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So to me, Sharon has emerged as somewhat of a clumsy and idiotic villain at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm here. I'm along for the ride.
Yeah, absolutely. I will be very curious to see how Adam handles this, what Thoth does in this situation, because he's like the god in residence here. It seems like they're playing chess on the reg, and what Sharon's I guess her in this moment, like, how is she feeling? Because all we know is that she's live streaming this, but like, why? Like, what is her intentions? What is her motivations here? Like, all of that, I think, is the whole thing is just ripe for more, obviously. Yeah,
totally.
Yeah. Thanks, Walker. And that is all of our stories for this week. So thank you, Richie, for joining us and being selected here today, as well as Nick, to you, Steve, and Walker. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, y'all.
Yeah, so I guess we'll combine our discussion question and an announcement. Our discussion question is, what are your plans for the month of July while we all take a break? So for the entire month of July, we will be taking a break, and we will be returning on, checks notes, pulls up calendar. We will be returning. We will have an episode that airs on Monday, August 3rd. Okay, so what are your plans for the month of July? So we will have an episode airing this. This episode that we're recording now is going to air on the 22nd, and we will have our final episode before the break will air on Monday the 29th, and we will take a break there and return in the month of August, where we will have stories due on July 31st. We will record that weekend, and the episode will air Monday, August 3rd.
That's right.
And that takes us into episode 91. So for episode 91, we ask you guys to write a nonfiction story. Kind of taking Steve's cue here, and he's writing primarily autobiographical, but we're going to ask you guys to try something in the world of nonfiction and see what happens. That's a tough one. I'm a big fan of the creative nonfiction genre. It's one of my absolute favorites. One of my favorite authors is Eric Larson, who writes creative nonfiction. All of it is based on facts and actual like letters and correspondence between actual people, but he will fill in points so that we have a complete story for events that actually did happen. Devil in the White City being one of those. Dead Wake is one of my absolute favorites, which is about the final crossing of the Lusitania. Very, very excellent book. Very heavily researched material. One of my absolute favorites. And one of my favorite things I ever wrote was a creative nonfiction piece. So I think there's a lot to do in the nonfiction world.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Exciting. I'm excited about this.
So the words to accompany your nonfiction piece are inhibition, recognize, workshop, depart, and explosion. Those are solid.
Exciting.
Yeah. So inhibition.
Yeah. Okay. So inhibition is the thing. Inhibition. It's the thing that keeps you from like letting it all hang out, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Often people will say that alcohol will remove all of your inhibitions.
Or at least decrease them, which I think several of us can attest to.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a social lubricant.
Lord knows I can. Yeah, totally. So inhibition. Okay, so hib I think comes from habel, which is Latin for like holding, to hold. Like in Spanish, the haber. Which we've talked about before, but holding in, I believe, would be inhibition. Holding, hib, hab, holding, and then in, like holding in.
Yeah.
And so inhibition is holding in, whereas losing inhibition is where you're letting it out.
Exhibition?
Huh?
Would it be exhibition?
Oh, yeah, that is the opposite of inhibition. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I never made that connection, but yeah, inhibition, exhibition, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fascinating. Okay, cool.
That's inhibition. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And our next word is recognize.
Yes. Ooh, recognize.
Ooh, cog.
Okay, this is exciting. Cog, yes. Yeah. So I think that we all know the old phrase cogito ergo sum.
I think, therefore I am.
Yes, exactly. So cog, think.
Mm-hmm.
What was the word? Oh, recognition. Yeah.
Or recognize. Okay.
Yeah, recognize. Okay, so to think back. Yeah. So it's like if you recognize something, that means you've seen it already before.
Yeah.
You're familiar with it from the past. So recognize is like to think back on something that you have experienced before or seen before.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Hey, I recognize you.
Yeah, exactly. I recognize you. I've seen you before.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I love that. I love that etymology. That's fun.
Yeah. Recognize. Yep.
Right.
And the next word is workshop.
Workshop. Well, workshop can be a noun or a verb, or an adjectival noun. There can be a workshop station.
Hell yeah!
And workshop band. This word is used a whole lot in my job because I'm always supposed to be planning workshops, and there comes a point where I'm like, wait a second, is this really a workshop or is it just a information session? Like, I feel like in order for it to really technically be a workshop, the participants have to be doing something, not just sitting there and listening. What do you think?
Yeah, that sounds more like a lecture. Like if it's just one person speaking and everybody listening, that's a lecture. That's not a workshop. Yeah.
Exactly. Just like my boss wants me to call everything a workshop, but I'm like, that's not a workshop. Like sometimes I do workshops, but if the audience is just sitting there listening, that is not a workshop.
Yeah. Yeah, because let's workshop this. That's the verb form of that, like the noun version of a workshop. I would say in order for it to be called a workshop, you must workshop in the workshop.
Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly. You have to be working shop.
Yeah. Yeah, and it does in that context make it a group thing, like you're workshopping something, like you're thinking through something together out loud. Generally is what a workshop is in my head. It's just like collaborative thinking.
It's kind of like brainstorming.
Yeah, exactly. Brainstorming.
The verb form of it. Yeah. And then of course a workshop can also be like a place. Like you have a workshop in your backyard.
Yeah, I got a little workshop. Yeah. That's a place. It's a shop where you work.
It is.
Yeah. And our next word is depart.
Depart. Yes. Depart is to leave.
Yep.
Yep. And it can also be used to mean the long leave, the final departure. You know.
Yeah.
you know the one.
You know the one. Where you shuffle from this mortal coil.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, I like the idea of shuffling. That's funny.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, because by that point, if you die of because you're old, then at that point you really are just shuffling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will be departing in the morning at 5 a.m.
Oh, yes.
via an airplane gate. So depart via
That's
gate
right.
A34 or whatever.
Right. Yeah. If only our airport was that big.
Right. Yeah. Departing from gate 3. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
And that's only because note they never use gates 1 and 2.
Right. Why is that?
Because there's just not that many planes there at the same time.
Oh, okay. But why not use 1 and 2 and not 3 and 4? You know, why?
I think
only
because
use 3
all
and 4?
of the food vendors and stuff are in the middle, so they use the middle gates so that they can drive people towards the food and stuff.
Oh, smart. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
And our final word is explosion.
Ooh. Explosion. Okay. Damn. All right. Explosion.
Explosion.
Fun. Explosion. You can have just a plosion.
Ooh, yeah. There's also, in the world of microphones and recording, there are plosives. Plosives?
Yeah. Actually, plosive is the thing I do know. I don't really know if you can have just a plosion, but plosive is also a kind of a phoneme.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think in the world of recording, like in microphones,
that's what it is too.
It's just a phoneme, yeah.
Yeah. It's like those sounds that kind of explode out of your mouth.
Yeah, the pl.
Like P. Yeah, P and B and T. Yes, plosives. And one interesting thing about Spanish is that those letters in Spanish are not plosives.
Well, what?
Like, for example, plomo. The p. You're not.
Oh yeah.
You're not expirating. You're not letting air out of. You're not pushing air out of your mouth when you make the P in Spanish like you do in English.
It's much softer.
So actually, yeah, it's just not a plosive, and so actually, it's a different symbol in the International Phonetic Alphabet. It's just a totally different letter. Yeah, plomo.
I never really thought about it. Yeah, plomo.
Yeah.
Nice.
Explode, explosion. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, explosion is a thing that go boom.
That's right. It go boom.
Boom. Big
Bang,
boom.
go boom.
Big bada boom.
Bang, bada boom.
Multi-pass.
That's right.
Yep. Yep, that's it.
Yes.
So our words, again, are inhibition, recognize, workshop, depart, and explosion.
Woo! And if you want to be like these wonderful writers and submit your story on You Write, head on over to our subreddit at reddit.com/r/YouWritePod.
If you're unable to submit a story this week, that is fine. You can help out by reading and commenting on other people's stories.
Each time you post a story or leave a comment on someone else's submission, you increase your chances of having your story read on the podcast.
You can also reach us at yourightpod@gmail.com.
If you like our show and want to help support us, consider donating to our Patreon at patreon.com/YouWrite.
If you're unable to donate, we totally get it. That's fine. You can always help by sharing the podcast with other writers and non-writers alike.
If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you know as soon as new episodes are available.
Also, be sure to leave us a rating and review in your podcatcher of choice.
And remember, join us next week on You Write,
a podcast where you write.
I want to know, where are you tonight?
See y'all next
week. I want to know, where are you? Girl, I got to find you. Free.